Hi, and today we are going to talk about designing walkable spaces. Sorry for the background noises because I don't have any other day to record, so please bear with me. So we'll just understand designing walkable spaces. So how do we design it in and around the campus in the city? How we are going to integrate it into in terms of sustainability practices? What are the different types of global rating systems such as like BREEAM and GRIHA? How can we implement this? What are the standards according to it? This becomes very much important when we are talking about health related infrastructure around in order to promote well-being of a particular citizens or occupants residing in one particular place, right? So BREEAM is one of the most widely method for accessing and rating and certifying these sustainable buildings. So they are utilizing certain standards in order to have a more bearable environment, which is very much efficient also. They work on the dimensions based on sustainable transport, land use and ecology, then we have energy and water efficiency, health and well-being. So based on this, we are able to understand what exactly the dimensions with respect to BREEAM talks about. And they try to encourage the need of use of, most public nodes than private cars or um, like loads towards the environment, such that they want to have a well connected pedestrian routes by linking the buildings and public transit nodes. We can use lot of public transport modes like bus, trains, stations and so on, because it will in terms cause a safe and comfortable environment, and this reduces the reliance on cars, um, their emissions, and this promotes perfect healthier life beings. So then we are having land use and ecology. They talk about how much important green and open spaces are. They like to integrate green corridors, parks, shaded walkways, pedestrian routes. So and also use this native biodiversity in order to have an harmony within the nature as well as the particular place, right? Then we are having the energy and water efficiency. So how are we utilizing energy consumptions, and how can we provide a sustainable water management practices to avoid flooding and all. So BREEAM tries to talk about that, and also there are some health and well-being. Obviously they try to enhance human health by promoting physical activities, reducing stress and so many other things. So this are certain dimensions of BREEAM. But in GRIHA what happens, Griha will talk about Indian Green Building Certification, which tries to focus on sustainable built environment. Now, they focus on various aspects such as Griha's dimension for workability. They actually work on site planning and design. They like to minimize the environmental impacts by developing and preserving green areas and encouraging the mixed land use. They also try to minimize this heatland effects, which can be done, and uh, by incorporating certain green roofs or tree shading based on those kind of aspects. They also talk about socio-economic aspects, where they're emphasizing these designs ensure easy access for the demographics for the children, elderly, as well as the people with having disabilities. They also try to emphasize the proper use of storm management and rainwater harvesting in open spaces, so that the roads or walkways don't easily get flooded during the rainy seasons. um, so the design feature for BREEAM and GRIHA more or less are almost same. They commonly focus on these three things, that is shaded walkways and use of local materials. They are trying their level best to promote locally sourced low emission materials for paving or road infrastructure. They are also trying to provide shaded walkways by using trees and encouraging people to walk more. They also want to talk about urban and green spaces. Both of the certification standards promote green spaces along the pedestrian path to reduce the heat and improve the microclimate. The accessibility to public transport and key facilities, they try to prioritize this pedestrian access to essential services. For example, there is mobility and there is connection between market, hospital, educational centers. For example, if it is a campus, canteen areas are the most common points, so there is an accessibility based on that. So then that highlights more. So that's what it is. Sorry for the light. Um, so next thing is urban planning concept for walkability and additional design considerations. So here in urban planning concepts for walkability, so they are trying to follow this transit oriented development. We have already been familiarized with smart planning and management. So at that time we have discussed about transit oriented development. So what does those principles relate with that is, first of all, we have to see that the people, the pedestrians or the citizens have the priority over cars in campus spaces, nearby areas with car free zones and bike sharing programs. Also, there should be a mixed functions based on whether there are people residing from residential, commercial, educational spaces, making walking more practical for daily needs. Also, they have to have a modified grid networks for the roads, ensuring the connectivity and making it easier for the pedestrians to find direct routes. Additional design considerations talk about pedestrian comfort. They ensure that this design uh, for the walking spaces are in terms of comfort, cooperating the wide side walkways and shading and smooth surfacing. Also the safety like speed bumps and traffic calming measures, surveillance for security. Also the universal design, which includes the people having disabilities or visual impairments. For them there are equal opportunities to access those kind of paths. So that's what they talk about in this concepts. So both BREEAM and GRIHA, they both specify a criteria to access this sustainable development for walkability. First, they make sure that connectivity is there, travel reduction, safety and security, and climate responsiveness. So connectivity so that there is an ease of access for the public transport and essential services. And for travel reduction, they make sure that residential work or recreational centers to encourage short and walkable commutes. And in terms of safety and security, the pathway should be proper lit. There should be signalage and there should be a proper surveillance system, safety features on the road to avoid accidents or incidents. And climate responsiveness, use of some shades, airflows, reflective materials to make the walkable ways more comfortable in extreme weather condition also. So these are the metrics for evaluating the walkability in terms of BREEAM and BREEAM and GRIHA. Sorry for using BREEAM every time. It's BREEAM and GRIHA. So this is what about both of the walkability and spaces.